Hey everyone, here's a quick video on the part 1 for the math final. So Sarah runs at a speed of 13.1 miles in 2 hours. How many miles does Sarah run per hour? So miles per hour, we have 13.1 divided by the 2. And when I type that into the calculator, we're going to get 6.55. That unit rate is 6.55 miles in 1 hour. Now for number 2, it says, how many solutions does the following equation have? We could remember that when we have the same coefficient and different b-values, so same slope, different b-values, we're going to have no solution, or I could just go over to the side and solve it. So I'm going to start off by subtracting the 5x over to the other side, and I get negative 2 equals 8. Which is not a solution, so there are no solutions. For number 3, it says, which ordered pair is the solution to the system? Now, when we have it in standard form, two equations in standard form, we're checking to make sure that we have the same coefficient opposite side. So when I look at this, I have a positive 2 and a negative 2, so when I add them together, they eliminate. So 3 plus 4 is 7y, 10 plus 4 is 14, divide by 7, y equals 2. Now when I look at this, I'll see that there's only one choice where the y value is 2, so it has to be choice number 3. When I look at number 4, it says point C is located at 1, 3, and after dilation, the image of C is located at 3, 9. What is the scale factor? When I see the words dilation and scale factor, I'm thinking, what number did I multiply by? So from 1 to 3, I multiplied by 3, 3 to 9, we multiplied by 3, so the scale factor is 3. For number 5, it says, which set of ordered pairs represents a function? A function, the x values can't repeat, so I'm only focusing in on the x values. Here I have 0, 2, 2, and 4. The x values repeated, 6, 5, 4, 3. The x values did not repeat. It's choice number 2. Now here you'll see that there's 2 6s. Here you'll see that there's 2 5s. 2 zeros and 2 1s. We don't really care about the y values. We're just checking for the x. Now for number 6, it says, which of the following numbers is a rational number? Now a rational number can be written as a fraction, or if it's a decimal, that decimal has to terminate or repeat. So when I look at my choices, pi is always irrational. This one is going to be irrational because it's a non-perfect square. This is non-terminating, non-repeating, but 7/8 is a fraction. It's choice number 3. When I look at 7, it says, what is 0.000000523 expressed in scientific notation? So what I'm going to do is type this long number right here into the calculator and hit second DRG, and I'm going over to psi. When I click enter, it will convert it into scientific notation. Now this is a really tiny decimal. It can't be choice 1 and 2 because the exponent is a positive. So now I'm between 3 and 4, but it can't really be 3 because my first coefficient, that number, can't be a number greater than 9. So by process of elimination, it is choice 4, but I could hit second DRG scientific notation, or I could always count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I did 7 scoops to make it 5.23. That's why I have a negative 7 here. For 8, it says lines A and B are parallel. If the measure of angle 3 is 80, find the measure of angle 6. So I need to figure out which type of relationship that is. This is where we could use our little trick and our hint. So I'm going to put in, an X and an O, an O and an X, X and an O and an O and an X. Now when I look at 3, it's an O. When I look at 6, it's an O. So because they're both O's, that means that whatever the measure of angle 3 is, the measure of angle 6 is going to be the same. So it is choice number 1. When I look at 9, it says solve for b if b to the third power is 216. Now, to undo the 3, we're going to take the cube root. This is where we're going to hit 3-second caret, 3-second caret, and I'm going to type in 216. So 3-second caret, hit 216, and hit equals. It should be choice number 2, which is 6. Now for 10, it says simplify the following expression. X to the 6th multiplied by x times x to the 7th. Now remember, there's an imaginary 1 there. So whenever I'm multiplying, I keep my bases and I add the exponents. 6 plus 1 plus 7 equals 14. So I keep my base of x. I add the exponents, x to the 14th power. For 11, it says if two sides of a right triangle measure 15 inches and 20 inches, what is the length of the hypotenuse? Now whenever I see a right triangle, I'm looking for a missing side. That's when I'm using Pythagorean theorem. So 15 and 20 are my legs. My hypotenuse is always across from the right angle. My hypotenuse is always going to be my C value. So I'm going to go to my reference sheet. I'm going to look for a Pythagorean theorem. I'm going to write down a squared plus b squared equals c squared. Now it doesn't matter what you plug in for a and b, as long as 15 and 20 are both of your legs. So 15 squared plus 20 squared equals c squared. I'm going to type in 15 squared plus 20 squared into the calculator. I'm going to get 625 equals c squared. And now from here, to get rid of the exponent of 2, I need to take my square root. So second x squared, I'm going to type in 625. My value of c is 25. Whoops. I must have mistyped. I'm going to just make that one a 25. For 12, we have two intersecting lines. Now, when we have two intersecting lines, we get vertical angles that are formed. And we need to know that all vertical angles are congruent. So I'm going to take my 3x plus 7 and set it equal to the 70. I'm subtracting 7 over to the other side. 3x equals, from here, I'm going to get 63, divide by 3, divide by 3, and x is going to be 21. I have what is the value of angle 1 in the diagram shown. So this angle 1 right here is considered an exterior angle. Now when I have two non-adjacent remote interior, to get that exterior angle, all I'm going to do is take 97 and I'm going to add it to my 40 to get 137 degrees, which is choice number 3. Now 14 does require the most amount of work. It says the equation of a line is y equals negative 4x minus 4. Which point lies on the line? You're going to have to plug in these x and y values into x and y to check. So I'm going to start with choice number 1. So 4 equals negative 4 times negative 2 minus 4. 4 equals, I have 8 right here. 8 minus 4 is 4. We lucked out. It's going to be choice number 1. Now, if that didn't work out, what you're going to do is plug in all these other choices to see if it works out. 15, it says triangle JKH is graphed on the coordinate plane below after translation of 4 units to the right and 3 units down. Where would H prime be? So here's H. I'm going to bump over to the right 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And now I'm also going down 3. 1, 2, 3. So H prime would be at 7, negative 2. For 16, it says, what is the solution to the system of equations? Now, the solution is just your point of intersection. All we're going to do is check to see where those two lines meet, which is right here. That is going to be at the point negative 3, 0. Remember, it's x, y. For 17, what is the rate of change? Rate of change is just fancy for slope. Slope is our m value. You could find that on your reference sheet and write down the 2 points and plug it into the formula. Or I could do a rise over run. So what is the change in my y values over the change in the x? Now when I go left to right, we'll see that the line does increase. So it can't be choice 1 or choice 2. So from here, I'm just going to figure out the change in the y values. It's going up by 1, 2. So it's rising 2 and running to the right 1, 2, 3. 3, so it's going to be 2/3, which is choice number 4. 18 does require a little bit of work and reading to make sure these numbers right here in my answer choices fit the criteria on the given word problem. So it's talking about 2 gift cards that's being purchased. He'll buy restaurant gift cards for $50 each, and he'll buy movie gift cards for $20 each. He buys a total of 13 gift cards and $610 worth of gift cards. So just to quickly check, 5 plus 8 gets me 13, 10 plus 3 gets me 13, 6 plus 7 gets me 13, and 11 and 2 gets me 13. So I know all those choices fit the 13 gift cards. Now I need to make sure that the money actually matches. So I'm going to take 5 of the restaurant gift cards, which was at $55, and add it to 8 movie gift cards purchased at $20. So I'm going to type that into the calculator, kind of how I see it. So 5 times 55 plus 8 times 20. When I type that in, that's a total of $435. $435 is not equal to 610. Now I'm going to do the same process for the rest of them. So I have 10 gift cards at 55 plus 3 gift cards at 20. When I type that in, 10 times 55 plus 3 times 20, I'm going to get $610. Now that $610 does match what the problem told me, so it is choice number 2. For number 19, it says, which is the equation for the line that passes through the point 6, 7 and 0, 9? Now, when I see an x value at 0, I know that this is going to be my y-intercept. My y-intercept always occurs when x equals 0. So my y-intercept is really my b, and y equals mx plus b. So I know that it has to have a plus 9, which means it can't be 4 and it can't be choice 2. Now that means I just need my m. My m, I could determine my m by using my slope formula. So my m, my slope formula, is change in y over the change in x. So I'm just going to subtract these 2 values. I'm going to take 9 minus 7 over 0 minus 6. 9 minus 7 is 2. 0 minus 6 is negative 6. Now I don't see 2 over negative 6. So when I simplify that, 2 goes into both. I have negative 1/3 as my slope. So when I put it together, my equation is y equals negative 1/3 x plus 9. For 20, it says, which interval is the graph linear? So where does it look like a line? And increasing, where does that line keep going up? So I'm going to look at from -5 to -1. When I look at this component right here, it is a line, but is decreasing as I go left to right. So it can't be choice number 1. When I look at 2, from -1 to when x is 1, now I scan left to right, that is a straight line, so it is linear, and the line is also going up, so it is increasing. It is choice number 2. And to conclude this video, it says, match each line with the appropriate slope. So when I have a 0 slope, it's going to be this flat line, which is line number 2. A positive slope, when I go left to right, it should be increasing, so it's line number 1. Negative slope, from left to right, it should be decreasing, so line number 3. And undefined is going to be my vertical line, so choice number 4.